All right, let's take a look at some more concept questions related to activity-based costing. We're right up here at the top of the page. And it says, assigning overhead using ABC will usually, and then let's see, we have increased the cost of high volume items because these items require less special handling. Well, the fact that we have higher volume would indicate that they require less special handling, but that should actually decrease the cost. So we're backwards here. Okay, high volume items require less special handling. Choice B, increase the cost of low volume items because these items require more special handling. And this is the correct answer. The fewer items that we tend to make, the more I don't want you to be confused and think we're talking about, custom-made items here. But every time we engage in a process of manufacturing, especially in a process costing environment, the more items we make at once, for example, the lower our costs tend to be. If we order 1,000 items on a purchase order, that's going to be cheaper than ordering 100 items 10 times. So as a rule, when it comes to activity-based costing, higher levels of activity require less special handling, and as a result, costs for those types of items go down, but the low volume items tend to go up in price as a result of activity-based costing allocation. This question here, we've got, let's see, what do they want? They say benefits of activity-based costing include all of the following except. So that means that 3 of these are going to be correct. And so it's just as important that you understand why the incorrect choices on a question like this are incorrect, because that means that those are qualities of activity-based costing. So let's look at choice A. It says lower costs of implementation compared to traditional costing. Well, this is an except question, and this is for sure going to be the there's no question about it. Activity-based costing is more difficult and it is more expensive to implement than traditional costing. Traditional costing is cheaper and easier, but we give up a lot in the way of accuracy sometimes. Okay, so we had our correct answer right off the bat. Let's jump down and look at some additional questions here. Right here it says activity-based costing, ABC. Let's see here. Can be used only in a process cost system. Focuses on units of production. Focuses on activities performed to produce a product. And uses only a single basis of allocation. And I'm not sure where we're going with that. Let's see here. Well, this question needs one more choice. Can be used only on a process cost system, and that is primarily true. Activity-based costing also focuses on units of production. That's a statement. Focuses on activities performed to produce a product. That's definitely true. And uses only a single basis of allocation. Also true. So this is what we're going to do here. we're going to put our own little answer in here, all of the above. And then guess what we're going to do? We're going to circle it, because every single one of these is true of activity-based costing. So all of the above is not there. I'm not sure if it got edited out somehow, but it should be there because all four of those are in fact true. Let's look at this question. It says all of the following are disadvantages of activity-based costing except. Okay, so hopefully we'll have three disadvantages here and then one that is not a disadvantage. Okay, let's see here. Choice A, a larger proportion of overhead costs are company-wide costs that cannot be directly traced to specific services. Well, it says a larger proportion. If it just said a large proportion, I would like that a little bit better. So let's come back to that one. Choice B, can be expensive to use. Well, it is expensive to use. Okay, so choice B is not going to be our right answer because this is definitely a true statement. Allocates overhead to activity cost pools and assigns cost to products using cost drivers. Okay, so A is largely a disadvantage. B is a disadvantage of activity-based costing. And then I want you to look at D. Some arbitrary allocations will continue to occur. That's true that is a disadvantage of ABC. However, choice C is an advantage. Therefore, it's actually going to end up being our answer. Okay, let's see what else we have. Do a couple more of these questions and then see where we're at. All right, so right up here, which of the following is a cost pool used with the activity-based costing method? Which of the following is a cost pool used with activity-based costing method? Okay. So let's see here. Cost pool. Total selling and administrative overheads. Direct material dollars. Let's see here. What else do we have here? Total factory overheads and production setups. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff going on here. So let's go through these one at a time. So the key to answering a question like this is we say, okay, well, if this is the answer, A, B, C, or D, what could I say is the cost driver? Because they're asking us about the cost pool. Okay. So then we would say, okay, well then what is the cost driver? What is driving these costs incrementally? Okay, as we go. And as we look through these, total selling and administrative overhead costs, okay? Well, if talking about a total anything, we already have a problem. Because we're going to have some fixed selling and administrative costs, and we're going to have some fixed and variable factory overhead costs. And so it's going to be impossible to identify a single allocation base or cost driver anytime we use this type of language here. So we can immediately eliminate those as answers. Direct materials are never a cost pool. Direct materials and direct labor are prime costs, and as such are not ever going to be a part of factory overhead. Production setups, cost driver, number of setups. So the cost driver is the number of setups. The activity cost pool is production setups. Okay, then we add the number of those and we can come up with our cost driver. Okay, so D is going to be the right answer. And then let's see what we got here. It says, which of the following is not a reason, let's see here. Which of the following is not a reason for banks to use activity-based costing? Okay. To determine the amounts charged to customers for services provided, to determine service quality, to determine profitability of the services provided, and then D, all of the above. Well, we need to remember just exactly what it is that activity-based costing can do. This is a little bit tricky here because at first glance it might seem contradicting ourselves a bit. We wouldn't necessarily associate a bank with process costing. However, if we are providing an identical service, number of checks written by the customer and processed by the bank, those types of things, then we get into a mindset where we can understand that service-related businesses can use activity-based costing. We actually had the example in the PowerPoint with a CPA firm, and so this is kind of the same thing. So to determine the amounts charged to customers for services provided, well, the number of those services will change based upon volume. Okay, so this has a volume component or a units of production. So this would be a good reason for a bank to use activity-based costing. To determine service quality, probably that's going to be our answer. Let's see here. Let's see, C, to determine profitability of services provided. We can do that as well. And then D is all of the above. But I don't see how we're going to be able to determine service quality. So we have, based upon our, if we think about choice C, based upon the price charged and the costs incurred, we can determine profitability. So this is a good answer. This is a good answer. Service quality cannot be determined. When I say that this is a good answer, I mean these are good reasons. And so then as a result, we can actually eliminate those, and then D, all of the above, is also going to be incorrect. All right, let's add one more exercise onto this video. It says activity-based costing should be used when, and then they say select all that apply. Okay, so we need to know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a check mark. And if I check mark or a dash, that's what I'm going to do. Direct labor is a major portion of total manufacturing costs. If this is the case, if direct labor is a major portion of total manufacturing costs, we don't need activity-based costing. We can use traditional costing. So I'm going to put a dash there. Machine hours is assumed to be the relevant activity base. Same thing. If we can use either direct labor or machine hours, we don't really need activity. I mean, if these are the major or predominant activity base, we don't need activity-based costing. Overhead costs are a significant portion of total costs. This is going to get a check mark. As overhead costs go up, it is going to be increasingly difficult to establish direct labor or machine hours as the primary driver of costs. Therefore, this is likely going to be a scenario where activity-based cost should be used. Product cost is heavily correlated to total machine hours. This is the same statement as this one right here, just worded differently. That's traditional costing would work. And it looks like we have the same thing going on here. Product cost is heavily to total direct labor cost. Now they're saying direct labor cost, but the fact that it is tied to any one thing heavily means that we don't need activity-based costing, so we're going to give this one a dash. Products are diverse. Well, if that's the case, we're probably going to have different cost drivers, so we need activity-based costing. Products are numerous. The more numerous they are, it's not clear whether we're talking about volume or in total number of offerings, but either way, activity-based costing could be used here. Products differ greatly in volume and manufacturing complexity. This is absolutely a time when we would use activity-based costing. Products require different degrees of support services. If that's true, a single plant-wide rate for overhead will not help us out very much, so we need ABC instead. And then there has been a significant change in manufacturing process or number of products. Again, all of these things here scream complexity, and that's when we need to use activity-based costing. We'll wrap this video up and come back and look at some calculations.